and we're going to talk about this for a minute. Okay? There is a lot of information that is not being conveyed correctly. And I am live. I'm live. I'm going to have to turn off my notifications on this phone because it's just too distracting. But I hope somebody tells me that they can hear me. I don't know if they can hear me. Can somebody hear me? This is very bad. Okay, perfect. She can hear me. Okay, beautiful. So the reason why it was important to bring up the questions that JFK has is because they are legitimate questions. Some of the people, right, have focused on something in particular and not necessarily on the entire and everything that has to do with the case, right? So that's actually a good thing, because if your strength is in something specific, that's where you need to focus on, right? I'm going to present something here, and I'm going to bring it up, which was the same discussion that we had when we were looking at the screen and the questions that came up. Okay. Could be him. That's fair. He doesn't think it was him. Oh my God, that is deplorable. He's on. Here we go.
Yeah. What's her channel? If one of the mods could put her channel up in the chat, let's get some subs over to Josie Lou so y'all can check it out. The year was 1997, March. Josie Lou is right.
Yep, that's BC. He's saying I was right. You should have listened to her.
I don't know about that.
I can't say that I'm right. I mean, how can I blame her? The days that we take other people's work at heart, it can work.
Right there, that's the link. Dennis Sweeney said it. I got nothing but love for Josie Lou. Everybody knows I got love for Josie Lou. And I'm not trying to go against what she says. I
love you guys too.
I just checked out that video thoroughly. And
Thoroughly?
we'll go over it tonight. Maybe if Josie's around, she could jump in and tell us what she sees.
I'm in bed with
But that's the brother of Kevin Albert and Chris Albert.
I get up at 4:30.
So the problem I have with thinking it's him, he never talks to his brothers. You know what I mean? Like, he's never conversating in the conversation. I mean, they're three brothers. They would talk to each other, right? I mean, I would only assume, unless they got beef with each other. But then again,
so how do we know that if we don't watch
Higgins and Brian Albert drove home from New York, allegedly, with them three?
Eddie Hernandez
and Higgins. And who was it? It was Kevin Albert and
Kevin
Proctor that got caught up in some shit.
Wasn't Kevin Albert and Proctor? Yeah, where Kevin Albert forgot his gun in Proctor's car after a night of drinking.
So we're gonna make a little pause here. I don't know if people know this, but Kevin Albert lives off of Neponset Street, right? Which is about 4 minutes away from the waterfall. Proctor lives in Wentworth Road, which is about 6 minutes away from Fairview. Lank lives in Oakdale, which is about 2 to 3 minutes away from 34 Fairview. Kelleher is right in front of Fairview. He lives at 35 Fairview Road. Gallagher lives in Milton. Okay. Jen is at 12 Country Lane, which by car is 6 minutes away from where Lank lives and 34 Fairview is. So I'm going to ask everybody a question because it's like, why is this relevant? Why does this matter? You know what? Let it play a little.
Kevin Albert drive back from New York with them?
Yes.
No, it was another, I think a Spanish guy, I thought.
Eddie Hernandez, but Kevin Albert drove also with Higgins and Brian Albert.
Yeah, it wasn't Kevin Albert. It was another guy.
Kevin Albert was there, wasn't he?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, there he was.
Let me see the comments.
All four of them. They drove home. It was Kevin Albert, the Spanish guy, Higgins, and Big Bad Brian A.
John asked if Kevin Albert.
Eddie Hernandez was his name.
So some people know.
Yeah, that was
the four of them.
Kevin Albert went. That's what I'm trying to say. So we see a dark-headed guy come up and he taps Chris Albert.
Mm-hmm.
She says he tapped Higgins, but he really tapped Chris Albert. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, Chris Albert knows everybody in that town.
Oh, wait.
So I think it was one of
those. This is a beautiful one. So Michi Beach says it's not Kevin. He did not stay at the table. Oh my God. Also, did you see how long John was at the table with Brian A. and Higgins talking? Okay. So Michi, darling, John was at the table with Brian Albert and Chris Albert the minute he noticed that Kevin Albert was at the waterfall. The minute he noticed. He didn't catch up right away that Kevin Albert had entered the building. But the minute he noticed, he abandoned the place where he was, right by Matt McCabe, near Caitlin Albert, and he squeezed around. And where did he position himself? Right by Brian Albert. That is key. So interpretation, when you're reading something like a book, let's say it's in 3 languages, you have every right to interpret it one way. But when you are actually looking at the same video that all of us are looking, there is only one way to look at it. John O'Keefe was standing on the other side of the bar by Caitlin Albert and Matt McCabe. The minute that Kevin Albert came in, a few minutes passed, and when John noticed that Kevin Albert was there, he slid over and he stood up right next to who? Big Brian A. And he was facing Kevin Albert the entire time. Quite a while before the end of the night, I saw her take on it. I don't think you saw anything. And if you saw it, you didn't hear it. But you're going to have to go back at it again. But it's okay. So next, Josie, where does Kevin live? He lives up.
Those things like, yo, what up, Chris? And then he stood behind Chris.
4 minutes away.
Waiting for Chris to talk to him. But Chris never went and talked to him. And he just did an Irish goodbye and left. He claims it's Kevin Albert. But if it's his brother, he's just going to jump right in the mix of it because he was just with them.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's going to jump right in the mix. So, I mean, these are the takes. Let me just finish. Yeah. These are the takes.
I'm a one-string band show.
These are the takes.
I don't even
you have to be 1,000% sure when you say things.
Didn't you hear Melanie Little?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I looked at what Josie said.
Come on, babe. Say it.
But.
No, but it's what I have behind my rear end. There's no but. What you should have done was picked up the phone when I was calling you after I found Kevin Albert so we could both watch the video together and you could help me because I'm a newbie at this, right? I don't watch her. I can't stand her. Well, she's got expertise, right? That's her forte, is her legal thing. It's not this detail analytic, whatever thing. None of these people know how to analyze videos. You see the other two focus on Karen and John. It's like, why are you so infatuated with this too? At the end of the day, one was framed and the other one got killed. Look at the rest of the people. What interactions are they doing? How are they moving? Are they talking on the phone? Are they texting? What are they doing? We already know what Karen and John, we know what happened to them, right? So you're shopping up and jumping from one thing to another. I'm talking about the Samantha and the loophole lawyer guy. And then the loophole lawyer is fixed on Higgins, almost like he's got a crush on him. Higgins didn't do this Wake up and smell the pizza. And you can push and push and push. You're not going to make him crack. He's not going to crack. He already did crack in a damn proffer, which is what he's supposed to do. So follow up and let me know when you're all caught up. So let's go back to this thing.
Like I said, that's my take.
Oh my God.
But I got nothing but love for Josie.
I didn't know she had a channel. Nobody knew. This is brand new.
But you guys be the judge. Put Natalie D. Put Josie's link in there.
Let's see.
You guys can go check out her video. And if you guys think it's Kevin Albert, fuck it. It's Kevin Albert. At this point,
let me ask you a question. When Kevin Albert from Saudi called in, right? Yo, I like what you guys are doing, right? This is Kevin from South Boston. And everybody was doubting everybody. I never doubted you. I never doubted that was Higgins either, right? Microdots went over and did his analysis on the voice, but you have one of the best ears in the business, right? Because this is what you do. I also play 12-string acoustic guitar by ear. I self-taught myself. And 2 other instruments that I am not going to disclose because people are going to make me real quick here. So what I'm trying to say is, hey, yo, Kevin from South Boston, when you find out she did it, are you going to take back what you said about the decorated dudes?
I was at the fucking waterfall that night. Who gives a fuck?
We do, because we're after justice.
Does it even make a difference at this point?
What is this? Why did you change your... What the
You know what I
heck
mean? Like, the Commonwealth ain't doing shit.
Since when has that stopped us?
That's my take on it.
Well, you better call, because I'm gonna. We need to talk about that take. You can't tell on me here, man. It's like,
I mean, I can see where Josie Lou might put that together. Where if you know they were coming back from New York all in one car.
Voice of reason. There we go. Oh my God! Thank God.
It was suggested that they come by.
Well, she knows what Kevin Albert looks like. She pulled a picture up of him, and it looks similar to the guy.
It looks similar to the guy, but yet you're unwilling.
The problem is that's their older brother. I think that's the older one.
And give me the benefit of the doubt so I can show you the pictures. The guy had put on some weight, okay? I know all these people. I know their faces. I know their trajectory. I know how they got here from the damn boat from Ireland. I did all that legwork. And I understand that a lot of people don't have the patience to do this. But if come on, man. And then not only that, not that I need your validation or that you give me your approval or any of that, but this is what irritates me.
And he's the police officer for the town. So
yes.
I mean, he's not going to...
A detective.
And then towards the end, just poke his brother and then wait for him.
He didn't poke his brother. He poked John O'Keefe.
To respond, and if he doesn't walk away, it just doesn't make sense to me. But is it possible? I guess so. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to super chat the heck out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you said, you know, let the people be the judge.
Oh my God.
You know,
let's see what else.
But for sure, go check out Josie's channel. She's putting in work. She knows a lot about the case. But I just can't do this.
Yeah, you're tired.
I just can't do the extra layer shit, man. I just can't do it.
I'm not,
because then it becomes fictional. Then I'm lying to my audience. Fictional. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying
nobody knows who's killed John O'Keefe. Nobody knows who did he get in a fight with. Nobody knows why did this happen. What is the motive behind it? And we just find a very key piece in this. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Josie's lying and nothing like that. But I'm saying I could make up stories.
Would I like to,
you know?
Baby? Thank you, Natalie D.
And just do it for the pop, but then I wouldn't feel true to myself. You know? So do I think it went down at the waterfall? Yes. And you know who's been doing the same thing we're doing if he's watching right now? The loophole lawyer. Dare I say
wait,
he watches us a lot. Because he's doing a whole thing where he's looking at it and he's trying to see the switch. Like we were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, where it went wrong.
I know where it went wrong.
Oh yeah? Where?
I know where it went wrong.
Enlighten me.
He texts her at 11:32.
Oh, that's why you are in twang and in cahoots with Loophole Lawyer, because you are also under the impression that it was Higgins who did this. So because Loophole Lawyer is on Higgins behind, you are most likely to be aligned with Loophole whoever, right? Well, Loophole is full of loopholes.
And then at 11:33, they stop play fighting. Then, right before they walk out at 11:57, Karen nudges Higgins. She nudges Higgins. She like pushes him off her. Like not push, like plays with him. And then he peeks in and he says something to her. And then I don't know.
So Jimmy, hold on. This is Jimmy from Lynn. So Jimmy, but come on, Josie. There's no doubt that it was Higgy too. Okay, so I'm. Hey! Oh my God! My bro's on the line. Give it up for JFK. Show up. He just joined Josie's One String Show. Everybody. Okay, Jimmy. So this is what I'm gonna ask you. Okay, let's keep an open mind, right? I have a different perspective. You just heard our boy, right? JFK saying that he's more aligned with Loophole Lawyer because even though Loophole Lawyer is full of loopholes, he's also after Higgins behind. And JFK is also under the impression that it was Higgins who did it, right? I've always had my doubts, and I don't ever finalize who did what. I can work on who's involved, but I cannot finalize who did what until I have all the pieces on this damn puzzles. So JFK saying I'm not aligned to anybody. Who said you were aligned? No, meaning in twang, right? Like on the same tune, right? Is that okay? Can I say that? I don't want to offend you. But what I'm saying is you were like on the same boat. Like, we're not going to stop. We're doing this videos until the real killer, Higgins, it's off the justice. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like in the same, not in cahoots or aligned, but saying like on the same page, right? If you will. So, and then she says, yeah, but Patty can clearly see the heel toe. Yeah, I saw the heel toe. And not only that, then JFK did another show and he showed more heel toes. But this is where it's going to get interesting. And I'm going to show my precious, handsome human magnet.
That's where John picked up on it. But then again, it might be nothing.
I like him better when he wears white.
Yeah, I mean, those are the key players.
Yes, those are the key players.
And I'm that one person that when I go in a facility like that or I'm out. I mean, I know where the entrance is. I know where the exit is, and I'm kind of like
true. That's true. I remember that. JFK talked to Higgins' girlfriend for 18 months. He had a girlfriend for 18 months. Not that JFK talked to her for 18 months, and she told him things. So some of the things were shared also during the show. But I don't know if everybody understands that Higgins was a federal agent working with the U.S. Marshals assigned to Canton. That assignment that started in 2018, is everybody following me here? Took him to move to Canton and equally get an office given to him, assigned to him, not out of a courtesy, but out of a working partnership at Canton PD. So this is how it works. When you get a job at the corner of Walgreens, Happy and Healthy, you don't move by Walmart. You move closer to the corner of Happy and Healthy because that's where you're going to be working at. In cross-examination during the trial, Alan Jackson crossed Higgins and asked him, what was your billet, meaning your assignment at the time that John O'Keefe's death or whenever this happened? And he said, I was assigned to the U.S. Marshals, to the Fugitive Apprehension Unit. Did you all get that? I'm not doubting that it's you, Kevin. It's just that I see in the video is really hard to follow. That is Kevin. Okay, and I have a better clip, and I think I can send it to JFK. But what I'm trying to tell you is he was working for the freaking U.S. Marshals at the time. He's an ATF agent, right? He's a federal agent. Federal agents are lent between each other. Why would Kevin Albert not interact with his brothers? Who said he didn't? Chris went right to the corner. Brian Albert stopped him. When he tried to go past him unnoticed, he stopped him and he gave him a hug. Where are you going, man? Give me a hug. And don't forget, all of these people were drunk. Then Kevin keeps going straight ahead and he engages with Chris. That's the first thing he does. And guess who else engaged with him, JFK? Matt McCabe. The only time that Matt McCabe left his post was to go talk to, guess who? Kevin Albert. So, whose life is in danger? Your life is in danger, Higgins. And then, yeah, I mean, don't forget, if you're assigned, that's what did he tell you in testimony? That how he destroyed his SIM card is exactly how, why am I stuck on this? No one ever said he was there too. JFK, that's exactly why I am stuck on this. No one has ever said he was there too. Why would they, JFK? I mean, up to trial one ending, Chris wasn't at 34 Fairview either. He lied on the stand. And he said that he went home. And Julie went home with a headache. Remember? That's what he said. So why, if they're trying to sort of like keep family members away from this, and guess who else they're trying to keep away from all this thing, this episode that evolved, because what did Matt McCabe said? If she didn't what? Then it will be an episode. Do you remember? So show the video. Now he's like bossing me around like he's my boss. Well, I am his mod, but I'm a mod out of loyalty. I am here, OG. Hold on. Who's OG? I've never known what that means. But okay, let's say that is KA. Then what? Then start next. What are we looking at him for doing? Okay, so here's where it goes interesting. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this for a second. Let's share this one instead. I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to remove this one. And we're going to present this one. And we're going to share. Hold on. Hold on. It's coming. I promise. Okay. Okay, here we go. So are you ready? Okay. Can you all see it? Because I can't see you guys when I'm looking at this. So, our binder. And just so everybody knows, right? If we look at, yeah, not this one. This one. Kevin and Brian are one of 6 brothers. Okay? Brian Albert is the oldest. Brian Albert, and then Kathleen, which is the only girl in the household, and then after Kathleen goes Chris, who graduated. I think it was 90 was Chris, and then Kevin Albert graduated in 1991. Okay, Kevin Albert graduated in Canton High. Wait, and I'm gonna show you this one. But what's important here is, I don't know if you know, but Kevin Albert lived off of Neponset Street, 4 miles away from Waterfall. Proctor lived in Wentworth. which is about 6 miles away from 34 Fairview. Okay. Lang's house to 34 Fairview is about 2 minutes. Okay. From Lang house, from Gallagher, who lives in Milton, to go to 34 Fairview, imagine how far that is. So if Lieutenant Kelleher contacted Gallagher to let him know that there was a Boston police officer that lives in One Meadows that goes by the name of John O'Keefe that was found in 34 Fairview, dead on the snow, I want to know why was it that Kevin Albert, that Kelleher called, what's his name? Called Gallagher. Why didn't he call Kevin Albert? Why did Lieutenant Kelleher at 6 o'clock in the morning, before anybody knew, called Gallagher to come from from Milton to Canton, when he could have called Kevin Albert, who lived 4 minutes away from the waterfall and another 4 minutes away from 34 Fairview? Why would he do that? Now, somebody's trying to get me the phone call, the original phone call that Gallagher placed the first time that he called Kelly Dever, because Kelly Dever, I'm sorry, I didn't want to show that, but I needed to show it, but I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it in a minute. I'm going to show this first. Gallagher is an immediate conflict. Exactly. He's conflicted out. But what happened? But it gets better. How does Kelleher know that Kevin is conflicted out? Because he has to know, right? Now, let's put things into perspective. Lang, Kelleher, Kevin Albert, Proctor, not Proctor. What's it? The other one? I can't remember the other guy. They're all Canton cops, right? Brian Albert and John were what? Boston police officers, right? So if Kevin Albert and Kelleher knew it, was somehow involved, or knew that he was in the middle of the blizzard party where John lost his life, he would not call Kevin Albert to go respond, would he? Right? He wouldn't. Why would he? That would be like putting him back in the same place where they've been trying to, like, look to what lengths did they go to hide the video from us, so nobody would see that he was actually at the and I'm gonna pull the video up. So he was actually at the waterfall. Look to what extent they went to hide him. I got him. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. Reset. Stop. This is harder. I drops. Stop screen. Reset screen. Share screen. Okay, here we go. So let me go to 11:27. 11:27. I'm going to go back too far to the video. 11:27. And don't forget, this is not the only video. We also looked at the video where when Kevin Albert actually pulled in, he pulls 11:27. 24 leaves, right? That's when he leaves. But that's not the whole thing. The beautiful thing about this is the minutes prior to him showing up, because everybody's texting, almost like trying to find out, are you getting here? Are you coming here? Like, how far before you get here? I mean, they're still here. Are you going to come here or not? Are you going to what or not? That's the beauty of it. When he enters, he pulls up right in front of the parking lot, and he's driving a Toyota Highlander dark. It has to be either a 2014 or 2016 model, because it has the older body that changed right around 2017. So right here, look, right there. You see that shadow? Let me see if you guys are looking at it. Let me see. I can't see a StreamYard. Really? Let me see. Where did we go? I suggested Kevin was in the house. I suggested Kevin was at the house many times. At what house? 34 Fairview. Yeah. So I never timed you out. It's the mods. It was Patty. Patty got timed out yesterday because she tried to like give you hints so you could based on the stuff that I was saying, but then she got timed out. And I'm going, okay, well, just damn girl, you got paper file on this shit. I have binders and binders since April 2024 and I organized everything, and the genealogy part too, because don't forget, just like immigrants and all these illegals that are now being found and let's deport them and whatever, all of these people came on the freaking same boat from Ireland, and they moved like little chickens all together, and they tried to move all together where they were at the same time. Oh my God, did I lose my audio? Hold on. May have lost audio. Let me see. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Oh my God, did I lose audio? Suggested you get papers. And then wait, I suggested was at the house many times. Show. And then come on, JFK. I know you have coming to come. Yep. But he's very good at it. And that's why I was trying to come on, man, pick up the damn phone. I even sent him a little emoji, but I'm not gonna say. So do you know that I always talked about Kevin? But the problem is that we were looking for Kevin. So when the FOIA, oh my God, SKU 1227 Music is here too. Welcome, sweetheart. When the new FOIA request by Corey Hopkins, which we have to give her all the props that we can every time that we can, because she actually made such an effort to put in that request to get all that paperwork out for us so we could actually scrutinize this stuff. So this is a little bit of the part that pisses me off. When the Google Docs and the Google link were shared by a lot of people on X, they encouraged everybody. It's like, go dig in, see what you can find, see what you can get. Why? Because we're looking for justice. We still don't know who killed John O'Keefe. Karen is going into a civil trial. The trial first trial and second trial are over. If anybody at any point was trying to control people and try to manipulate them like puppets so we could stick to the freaking narrative of what it was that we were doing, that was just to calm things down because things were getting out of hand. It was getting too much of exposure socially, right? In social media. At the end of the day, the Commonwealth was the one who set up the narrative that they were going to use. They said she left them. There's a Ring camera that never surfaced, right? That camera never showed up. What? He doesn't answer my calls either, Josie. Don't feel bad. Well, but you don't have a butt. I do. So the other thing is that to make it worse, they were the ones who were saying she killed him. She left him. Let's send the what do you call it? Let's send the Lexus to Texas so we can get the infotainment system analyzed and see blah 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 blah. But they didn't make any fuss when that car came back from Texas empty. Nada. Sipriduda. Nada. So my point with all this, when they released the Google Doc, the link, so everybody could look at paperwork and documents and whatnot, I dove in. I told everybody, look, you're going to take care of this. You're going to take care of that. You're going to go there. You're going to go that. You're going to go to Savannah. You're going to go this. Because I'm not working. And then the sidebars came out at the same time. So I'm going crazy. I have two computers going, the sidebars in one time, the other one in another. And because, just like Sean McDonough says, it's not like we're going to solve the crime. Yes, we will. We are going to solve it. If we don't quit, you know why winners win? It's not because they're the best ones. It's because they don't quit. They don't quit. So we need to continue to look for little details and little pieces that put things together. Kelleher could have called Kevin. He didn't. He called Gallagher. Gallagher lived in Milton. Doesn't matter. Gallagher is running around on a car that is not his GOV. It's not his government assigned vehicle. It's his POB. And he's not wearing gear. He said to Dever, I'm not wearing any gear. I got to go get gear. But he first goes, where does he go? He goes to Juan Meadows. Do you know what time that call was? Does anybody know what time that call was? Because I dare to say that call was either prior or right around the 911 call that, what do you call it? We will not quit. We will not bend. That call that Gallagher placed and left a voice message or left a message or talked to Gallagher. I don't know what happened. Happened before or on about the 911 call. How do I know that? Because if Gallagher is calling Gallagher, knowing that he's got Lank and he's got Kevin Albert as detectives in Kenton PD, why the fuck is he calling Gallagher? Unless he knows something we don't know. They've been trying to hide Gallagher. No, sweetheart, don't cry. No, you're good. You're okay. They've also been trying to hide Gallagher out of all of this. Gallagher lived right in front of John O'Keefe. Gallagher was supposedly the ring camera that captured the entire accident and the entire thing, right? Well, his camera didn't capture shit, because if his camera did, guess what? The 4H is right there, blocking the view to the flagpole. The same route that Lucky Logren had gone up and down, up and down, up and down, and didn't see anything except right around 3:30, 3:45. The last thing he saw was what? A 4H. That he didn't go through there. He had to run around, right? Higgins' rapid weight losses shows conscious sense of guilt. Wait. Yep, Higgins will break, hopefully. No, he's not. He's not, Scott, because he already turned in a proffer. He is a federal agent. The fact that he's still a federal. Do you guys want me to spell it out? Like, I don't know. Like, I already got myself into trouble because JFK say, well, you have to be 1,000% sure before you come out and say something like that. Well, you know what? I'm a one-string channel. I'm a rookie. I only had, what was it that Melanie said? 100 and something followers. I'm a nobody. I'm a Josie Lou. So I made a rookie mistake. Maybe instead of like going all over with my emotions, holy crap, I found Kevin Albert because I've been looking for him for this entire 4 years. Maybe I should have just kept my emotions like, between my legs and don't say anything and run to, I don't know who, Richie or somebody to tell me whether I'm right or not. I don't need anybody to tell me whether I'm right or not. I have 2 eyes and I have been doing this digging for a wildly long time. So, continuing on this, supposedly Higgins moved his Jeep. And you guys are going to laugh at this, but hear me out. If there's no Jeep, Brian Albert in the video from, oh, wait, I stopped this video. I forgot. I was supposed to show you. Wait. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I got emotional here. Look. That, you see? Now, that guy I'm trying to identify. Who is that guy? Wait. And who's the guy behind him? I got to slow this down. Look at Higgins. Oh, I try to call somebody that I know. That was you, JFK. Can't tell me if that's Kevin Albert. Actually, no. Looks like Kevin Albert, but I'm not sure. Let's go back. 351, 330. Let's do this. 10. It's really slow. 52. So it's at the 351 mark. I'm going to write that down. See if I can make it larger. 351 timestamp. You see how Higgins is right there, like sitting down. You're going to see Brian sort of like saying hello to him, but Higgins doesn't even flinch. So he's coming. There's a shadow. See? 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. That looks like Kevin Albert, man. Yep. It sure does. That's actually Kevin Albert. And who is that? Yeah, we don't know yet. He stops and he says, yo. And he stops him and he grabs him. Brian grabs him again. And gives him a hug. Oh, manito, my and the other guy is sort of like, hey, what's going on? But Higgins doesn't even acknowledge him. Let me see. And doesn't say anything. Audio. Okay. So John doesn't notice. You see him? He hasn't seen him yet. Higgins knows because he kept looking at the door, like waiting for somebody to come in. Look, he's like smiling, like he accomplished something very big. That's Chris Albert right there, right? And he already had said look at the bald spot. That's how you figure out that one. That one is Kevin Albert, the bald spot over there, big forehead, right? And there's Chris talking to him again. Now here's Higgins with Brian Albert, right? And John hasn't noticed what the heck is going on. He hasn't realized that that's Kevin Albert who's there. The same Kevin Albert that he had asked, what's his name? Chris, whether he was coming. So he starts moving over like the minute, and there it is. He's coming over this way. Now he's over here. Do you see him? Let me see. Okay, that's the thing that I kept moving the cursor to make it slower or faster. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Josie, God dang, Josie, you keep your no. I'm not reading that. And God, yeah, that one is okay. And then this one says, guys, tell me you really think cops about another cop's wife, significant other, side piece. Really, most of them cheat and would rustle up anything that comes. Yep. So, but Kevin was, yes. So Kevin, supposedly Kevin came back from New York from that funeral, which I have news. The funeral of Rivera Mora was only one of them, because the other police cop didn't die until 4 days later, because I found the information. So Higgins lied about that. The funeral was only about one of the police officers, not two of them. The two of them had gotten shot, but only one of them died. The only one died on the 29th, and he was not buried and didn't do the funeral until February 2nd, which is the same day that Karen got indicted. So Kevin Albert, Higgins, Brian Albert, and Eddie Hernandez. And if to put it into perspective, Eddie Hernandez and Higgins knew each other the longest. He had known Eddie Hernandez since 1990. That's what he testifies from, right? And then he knew Brian Albert since his firefighter days. So that's about 15 years, right? Kevin Albert is the one that he knew the least, because it was the last one he actually met when he was assigned to the U.S. Marshals. What made him bought a house or move to Canton and get an office assigned at Canton PD by Berkowitz as a working partnership. Now, mind you, Berkowitz was the person who said, I'm a little afraid of Brian Albert. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yet he was buddies with Higgins, and he assigned him an office. Now, here's John O'Keefe. There's Brian Albert, and here's Brian Higgins. Kevin Albert is over there. You see the bald spot over there? At one point, he takes his coat off. There it is. He already took his coat off, the black coat. So he's very easy to mistake him with somebody else, because he no longer has the black coat, which is the black coat that identifies him when he comes in. So now he has like a polo something with some sort of lines or squares, and he's going to pull forward here, and he's going to start talking to the group. The funny part is that here's Matt McCabe. He never abandoned his post. Well, wait. But he does abandon that corner to go talk to Kevin Albert for also a wildly long time. You need to look at the video. You need to go and pull the video from the court shop. What is it? The court shop. That's the best video ever. And if you want to, I can come on with you, or you can come on with me. But I would love to look, not at the video or the show that I did where I have voiceover and I'm interrupting and all that. No. But I would love to have another perspective, somebody who has common sense, logic, like a Sean McDonough, or, somebody that can see exactly what I'm seeing. Because prior to Kevin Albert arriving there and staying there for about 31 minutes, he was there 31 minutes. He does not leave until he points at John O'Keefe. He pokes at him, and then he points at him, and John O'Keefe points back at Kevin Albert. And therefore, to them, it doesn't, let me see. Therefore, the motive Higgins doesn't make any sense. Well, and you think the thing is that, there's only so much, like, if I would have had uncovered something that was different from this, that would have compromised any investigation or anything further, I would have come out and say it, right? I would have come out and say it. Oh, it's very interesting that you asked, Jimmy. There was an email that was shared today, and I sent it to to JFK. That email format is part of the FOIA stuff that is being leaked, or not leaked, but shared, that came from the FOIA request that Corey Hopkins did. And one of the emails that was found, and I don't know if you know, but John, after his sister died and he took over his niece and nephew, he was assigned to the SORI unit, which is a sex offender, whatever, register, whatever. So a lot of people think like this is a pushover job, it's a desk job, right? He had a very good pay. John was not on the field. He had a desk office sort of job, right? If you tell me that among all of these people, all of these cops who say that had a lot of respect for John because he took over his niece and nephew, you can't tell me they didn't feel a little bit of envy knowing that John O'Keefe had a desk job, had a good pay with good benefits, and he was working 9 to 5 or whatever it was, so he could have time off and have a normal life and family interactions with his niece and nephew. You can't tell me that there wasn't a little bit of an itch of a jealousy or a little bit of envy because of that. While all the other cops are putting their lines on the line, right? Like that's what we think, right? And dodging bullets and whatnot. John O'Keefe was at a desk job doing the sex offender thing. Now, an email recently surfaced where John O'Keefe was copied with an address. Patty, do you want to post it so I can just bring up the thing? Or do you want me to hold on, give me a second, I'll read it. The email that came out today, and Grant Smith Ellis posted it. His post says, it begins, what did John O'Keefe find out about a network of child abusers in Canton? Was he undercover? Karen Reed knows. That's what Grant Smith Ellis knows, right? And then protect her. That's what Grant Smith Ellis is posting. But the email comes from John O'Keefe himself, letting Rafferty, O'Neill Marilyn, Fitzgerald Daniel, John Rich, Sheila McLaughlin, letting them all know will do. And you know what his will do is in response to? Attached, please review the above offender's registration form. The live address appears to be an industrial park. He listed a mailing address in Canton. Can each of your departments audit these addresses? And the date on this is March 5th, 2021. Now, let's back up for a minute, right? What happened in January 2021? Sandra Birchmore died. Do we remember? Sandra Birchmore died. And initially was what? It was an scene that was attended by John Fanning, Guarino, Kevin Albert, and all the first responders and all the ambulances and everything, right? But it was declared what? A suicide, right? She hung herself. She was found in her closet with something around her thing. Do we remember all of that? So, you know, the details and the stuff that surfaces, it doesn't do us any good if we fail to put this damn monster together. Because just like JFK says, this is an octopus of many tentacles, tentacles and tentacles. But the tentacles have to go to a head. So they all have to wrap around together, just like a puzzle does. So it was not long after that the family did an independent autopsy on Sandra Birchmore, and it surfaced that it wasn't a suicide. What was it? It was a homicide. But Guarino, Fanning, and everybody else, tell them about the story. It's just too long. So Guarino and all of them ignored the 3,700 text messages that were exchanged between Matthew Farwell and Sandra Birchmore. The chief of police, McNamara of Staunton Police, she was the one who went on a press conference and let everybody know that she opened an AI investigation, an internal affairs investigation on the matter. Why do you think she would do that if she didn't think that some of her own were involved and she was conflicted out? Just like Kelleher is calling Gallagher to drive from Milton in the middle of a blizzard storm, right? Rather than calling who? Lank and Kevin Albert. Why? Were they involved? Were they riding around Oakdale, Fairview? Where did they go? Where did they go? I mean, they left the waterfall, and guess what happened? When you look at the outside video of the waterfall and you try to match it with 11:27, and hold on. I got it. Looking at my papers, it's right here. At 11:27 and 34 minutes and 34 seconds, I think it is, 24 seconds, and you look at the outside parking lot video, you can't match it. It jumps. You can't see when Kevin Albert left. It goes from a second after he exits the waterfall to 11:53. So between 11:27 and 24 to 11:53, what are they trying to hide from us? And here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. He's going to start walking out. There it is. There's the bald spot. You see it? He's already wearing a jacket. And oh my God, my mouse. Where's my mouse? He's already wearing a jacket and he's up here. And there's Chris and there's John. And John is right by where? By Brian Albert. And there's Chris on the other side of John. He's sort of protecting himself between these three. And he's sort of like, tapping Brian on his back. Chris Albert gives him a hug and put his arms around him. Kevin Albert is on that side. Matt McCabe is right there talking to Kevin Albert. I don't know if you see his head. He's going to go to the bathroom in 1 second. Look. But he was talking to him. The only time that Matt McCabe moved from that corner wasn't because he had to go to the bathroom, was to go chat with Kevin Albert for about 6 minutes. But when John realized that Kevin was there, he went around. There goes Matt to the bathroom. He went around and he never gave Kevin Albert his back. Look. He's coming over. And guess who he's poking? He's poking John. He turns around and look how they point at each other. Wait. Don't tell me. This is the video that I was showing in the beginning and I rewinded a couple of times. But you got to pay attention when they start pointing at each other. And they're making gestures with their hands, right? And Kevin is lingering. He knows where, there it is. He points at him and he backs up all the way until he exits because he knows exactly where that camera is. If you think I'm kidding, I invite you to go check it out for yourself. But the reason why, that's just one of the reasons why I was looking for Kevin Albert, because the entire thing did not make sense that he was not at the waterfall. It did not make sense whatsoever. If the first thing that John asked Chris is, you're the one that said it, that I said what? If the only thing that John asked Chris is Kevin Albert going to be there? And a lot of people thought that he wanted to see Kevin Albert. To the contrary, he didn't want to clash with Kevin Albert. He didn't want to be anywhere with Kevin Albert. He wanted to be far away from Kevin Albert because God knows what he knew about Kevin Albert. We don't know, right? Like at this point, I'm speculating because in order for me to come up with something, an idea that gives me a clue for me to continue to go in a different direction and look for more clues, I have to have a theory. I got to have a couple of theories. Right now, I have 5 theories, nonetheless. So if you think that it's too much, it's too much. I don't want to go that route. It's a headache. Yes, it is a headache. But if I want to find out, or if I want to try to help, or if I want to try to, I don't know, contribute in any way, right? But what is Kevin's motive? Okay, again, but I thought we already covered that. Okay, let me see. Cups. Kill other cups for a side piece. There was this thing up going on. I think so too. But we haven't proven that. So I mean, I have enough pieces that lead me into that direction, but we haven't proven that. But do I have enough to think that there was something going on? Absolutely. Read out the address out loud. And okay, so the address to that email, related to the email that, hold on, to the email address that, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. John Rich from John O'Keefe. Here we go. Trying to look at, okay, here we go. The address that is stated inside that attachment that Grant Smith Ellis placed on his email and his post is, wait, where did it go? Where did it go? P.O. Box 392, North Billerica, Massachusetts 01862. That's the address. Did I get that right? And okay, where am I? The history. Yeah, I'm trying to feed information little by little, because the thing is, just like you heard, it tends to be too much, right? Because there is too much. There's too many tentacles to this thing. So, I like taking it one at a time. In regards to Sandra that pointed to Kevin. So question, did John know something? Well, and this is where logic plays a part, Scott, because let me ask you a question. John lived in Canton since 2017. Higgins moved in Canton in 2018. They were both buddies. Like both of them were very, very close. Like they would go out to bars and whatever. You saw it on the text messages, right? At one point, Higgins went to John's house too and played Nintendo with his whatever, right? So John had a different schedule from the different other cops that lived there because of what I explained, right, about the kids. They sort of like accommodated him so he could actually take care of his kids. When Karen comes over, she sort of like helps in that department, right? And she starts organizing things. I mean, heck, she even put his house and everything else on a trust for him, trying to organize his life, because at the end of the day, he is a cop, right? So, and another thing, I'm going to make a segment here. Sometimes I wonder if John's family knew after John died or before John died that Karen, because she was an investment person, right? Money-making person. Did they know before he died that Karen helped John put all of his assets in a trust? Are they hating on her? Because is this part of the reason why they're hating on Karen, right? Because they found out after that Karen actually helped John organize his finances and put the trust and whatever benefits and whatever not in the name of the kids as sole proprietaries of that trust. I mean, that can pinch a nerve if you ask me. Like, when everything happened, if Karen was living with John, right, and the kids, you would think that Karen would be the one walking into that house like she owned it, right, with key in hand and allowing the rest of the family to come in because she was the one who was living there, not them, right? That dad would come and slouch at the couch sometimes and pass out and hang out because he had a great relationship with John, not so much the mom, right? So I wonder, when did they find out that Karen helped John organize all his finances and all of his assets and whatever benefits he had in case he died tragically in an accident or something? When did his family find out that Karen had put everything on a trust for John? But then again, if they're blaming Karen for this, they're out of their freaking minds because John is a grown ass man. Karen was just happened to be the best thing that ever happened to this guy because she was trying to help organize, help him with the kids, help, become a sort of like a functional couple, spoiling the kids. You think that you're going to stop me from spoiling the kids? If I have the money and if I want to spoil them, if I want to buy them a Porsche, I'll buy them a Porsche. Why not? Like, there are people who do this for other kids. But, mind you, John wanted sort of like continue to be on a frugal situation to maybe teach the kids, save, be mindless of your future, of your money, just make sure, don't overspend, and all of that stuff. And I agree with that. But when you are in a dual situation, tell me, I am a living witness of it. We can clash a lot because the way that I see things going is not necessarily the way that he thinks things going. I mean, we have a problem with the dog. Imagine if we had kids together. So I tell the dog something, he tells the dog something else, and I'm going, no, he can go in my bed anytime he wants. Get out of the bed. No, he's a baby. He's my baby. So that's what I mean. I don't know when did they find out that. So yeah, I think that John knew. To answer your question, Scott. I'm sorry. I think that John knew that what had happened to Sandra. I think he knew who were the first responders who attended that scene. I think he found out that it was no longer a suicide, but it was a homicide. I think he found out also that because McNamara called for an AI, that is an immediate, instant indication that there is somebody's thinking that there are people within the department that are conflicted out or involved or could be involving some of the people within. That's why you call for an AI investigation, to remove yourself from the equation and, not be conflicted yourself, which is exactly what Kevin Albert did. But look what happened. Kelleher calls Gallagher, but Kevin Albert is still involved. Why is he still involved? Scheduling the appointments for, okay, wait. I don't think they give the address, actually. Well, I read the address that was on the thing, so you put me on a bad spot here, PC. What are you trying to do, Burmy? I mean, don't forget, I'm new at this. I'm a one-string channel, remember? So it is possible. I mean, it is one of the possibilities that you have to explore. And then on top of it, let's put everything even into more perspective. So, and this is not a freaking commentary channel. If anybody's coming here for entertainment, you're not going to find it unless it's just me making a fool out of myself. This is a scrutinizing channel. This is let's dig in and let's find out where these damn pieces are and what makes sense based on logic and sequence. Because all of these people and their testimonies, they're lying through their teeth. Though there are moments of truth that are subliminally sort of like slighted and not necessarily like they aimed at it, right? If we don't catch those, we're as SOL as everybody else. So let's put it into perspective. If you ask me if John knew, right? If John knew about Sandra Birchmore and if potentially this was in regards to him or he was looking into it or whatever, this was Sandra Birchmore passed in 2021, right? Suicide, homicide, and whatnot. Then we get that email that is sent in March 2021. Then Eddie Hernandez and Brian Higgins have a fight at a Christmas party. And that was in 2017. I am on the opinion that that was what led Higgins to be interviewed and have had to give his version of events at a meeting that occurred after that fight broke between the two of them. Now, don't forget, we started out saying that Higgins testified in cross to Alan Jackson, and the judge tried to stop him by saying, "Are you at liberty to disclose?" Like, he's sitting at the witness stand, man. He's under oath. Why are you stopping him and asking him, "Are you at liberty to disclose that?" And what's funny to me is that Higgins actually ignores the judge and flips his, like, out of arrogance, right, and ego, because his manhood has been questioned, and he ignores Bev with her robe and everything, and he turns to Alan Jackson and he says, I was assigned to the U.S. Marshals Field Apprehension Unit starting in 2018. Just like that. So I don't know if any of you have any friends who are federal or something, or have been in the FBI, Marshals, DEA, or whatever, but you can ask Sean McDonough. Typically, when you are in a operation of those, right, and something happens, or something or somebody dies, or someone dies on your watch, what happens with a cop when somebody's in a shooting and you're involved in that shooting? Don't they put you on leave immediately until the investigation is concluded? Well, that's exactly what happened to Mr. Higgins here. He got placed at a desk job, still with ATF, but he's at a desk job. I've seen the same thing in my personal life. Personally, I don't click and they need someone to blame. My mom, I don't like anyone. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes in every single interaction and family, because everybody has a mind of their own. Everybody's a unique entity, and you don't need to sort of succumb and become what somebody else wants you to be, or act some way, or walk this way because that's how my husband wants me to walk. No, I said, like, no, this is me. You're stuck with it, whether you like it or not. If you made the wrong decision, we still have time. So here's the paper and there's a pen. So my heart will always tell my brain. My brain will always tell my heart what to do, not the other way around. I can't function otherwise. So I fight with my wife constantly over the puppy. Totally agree with that. Yeah. So I'm entertained and enlightened. Oh my God. Well, thank you. That's such a good compliment. Okay. So going back to this, where was I? Oh my God. Sorry? Why do you say sorry, PC? So that is the picture where I was showing. That was the Berkowitz retirement party, right? That picture was taken, and I think TV captured it. That you can tell that is TV's. And there's a fire dieback right next to it. That is TV's. Another very important piece of information. I want to know why PC is saying sorry. Do you remember... oh my God, what's the name of this guy? Hold on, because I remember, but I got to refresh my memory because there's a lot of stuff. So I don't know if you guys remember that at some point they were saying that somebody ripped off the carpet, right, from Brian Albert's house. Do you remember that? And that it was somebody that it was related to Jill Daniels or something like that. Do you guys remember? Can somebody remind me something? Oh my God. Hello, Mr. Sweeney. So at some point they were talking about a carpet being ripped off of 34 Fairview, and that it was the person who did this was related to, what's his name? Was related to, oh my God, Julie Daniels. Now, I don't know if you can follow me here, because this goes back a little bit behind of all of this stuff, right? Kelleher, who is the deputy police officer in Canton, right? And he is the one that lives at 35 Fairview, okay? His dad was also a Canton police person, okay? Kelleher not only lived across the street from them, but he also, he knew Michael Proctor. And he knew that the whole Ring camera situation, I don't know if you knew. So they knew that they were pointing right at that corner where the flagpole and the fire hydrant were. What happens with Kelleher is that Kelleher and Proctor also knew each other. Don't forget that Proctor lives at Wentworth Street, which is about 6 minutes away from Fairview. So you have Lank in the middle, right? And there's another cop that lives in Oakdale, but you got Lank that lives there. And Lank is less than 2-3 minutes away from 34 Fairview, and about 6 minutes away from who? Tell me, from who? From 12 Country Lane. So I hear a lot of people sometimes because, well, let me continue on this thought. Back in the day, the Waterfall Bar and Grill had another name. And that bar was the same bar where Chris Albert had a situation with a brothers, poly something, poly whatever. Oh my God, where are my notes? Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, hold on. But it's the same bar, but it had a different name back then. So there was an issue in that bar where Chris Albert sort of like had a confrontation with these two people. The two people ended up sort of like, suing the town and whatnot. And, they won the lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. But it was Lank and Chris. Lank was the officer who was contacted. Okay. Not contacted. Chris and Lank were the ones who were involved in that issue where they fought these brothers, and the brothers ended up putting a lawsuit against the town or something. I can't remember, but Jim Marathas, that's the name. He is the owner of what back then used to be called Centerfields, which is now the Waterfall. I wish somebody could confirm that before anybody starts asking, other people to judge me other than God. But if anybody is out there that knows at some point, to whoever, please confirm it, because that's the information that I got, that the same bar was called Centerfield or Counterfield or Counterfield or something like that. And that's when that fight happened between Chris Albert and these two brothers. And then it was, what's his name? It was Lank who actually stepped in and saved the day. So these two have done this thing before. It's almost like riding a bike, right? You're only clueless the first time. The next time you drive it, you know what to do. Even if you stop riding a bike for a year, you jump in a bike and you can do pirouettes, right? Because you already know what to do. You already know how it operates. You already know it has two wheels and the pedals and they go around, and you better make sure that you lift your legs up when you stop, because otherwise the pedal is going to hit you in the back of the calves, right? So these two have been in that same particular situation. Hello, D-Mark. Before. And Lank was the one who saved the day. Now, Jim Marathas was the one who owned that bar. Okay? And there were, what I heard personally was that there were like protests and all sorts of stuff that happened because, and he not only was he the former owner, but he was also friends of the Albert. So apparently I also heard that it was Lopitato, something. I guess they're Italians or something, right? Io non parlo italiano. So they were Italians at the age, and this was like, I want to say this was somewhere in the 20s. But I think one of the older brothers of, oh my God, hold on. This is the other guy's name. Oh my God, wait. They were very close friends too. They're the ones that have the what do you call it? The landscaping business, or the plowing, landscaping, tow trucking, whatever. And I don't know if you guys remember that at 4:00 in the morning there was, because that's what Peter Murphy said too. Somebody put in a call, right, and talked about there's a man laying on the snow. And when the person went back into the office and asked how was the person or whatever happened, they were told, don't even talk about this anymore, or you're going to lose your job. So to understand these people, you need to understand that this family goes back to the 1930s. Okay. They all migrated together from Boston, right? Quincy, all the way to Canton, on or about the same time. I have a 17-page report or research that I did on the Weeks side, because they also moved around the same time that the other family moved. And that was very typical during those days. Like if there were family from Ireland and everybody came together, they already knew each other, right? So I mean, you become family, right? Like you have, and the same thing happened with Josh Canoni's when her mother died. Her Morris's dad was part of the school district, and when Josh's dad died, um, the mom still had 5 children to raise. So where did she end up working? She ended up working at the same school district. He got her a job. So everything is intertwined. And again, this is somebody who is an outsider, right? I'm no longer in New England. I'm no longer in that area. I know the area very well. I have been in Canton about 6 or 7 times since 2024. So, what I'm trying to say is, imagine if this is me, then I'm able to research and put all this stuff together, binders, and I just show them to you. I'm going to show them again just for the new people that showed up. I try not to use this a lot because a good content creator that I followed, she uses it constantly, and in no shape or form trying to do anything. But this is a very useful tool. Everybody uses it all the time. And what it does is it allows you to show your work, show what you're doing, and let people know, where are you getting this information from, right? Can you all see it? Where are we getting this information from? Just like when I talk about Jen McCabe, I am absolutely certain that Jen McCabe, somebody put Joan's phone in a Faraday bag at 1:36 in the morning. And I say that with a lot of confidence, because there is a trigger event at 1:36 in the morning when that phone goes kaput. And the other trigger event is that, don't forget who was at Canton PD around 1:30 in the morning. Nothing is a coincidence around here. All we need to do, if we could find a way to collaborate, if we could find a way to, there's a lot of people that have pieces of information that are missing the pieces of information that some of us have. This could have gone a lot quicker. What did Corey Hopkins do when she placed that FOIA request and she dumped that file and a lot of people were sharing it? What did she do? She encouraged collaboration. She said, here it is. Feel free. Go dig in. See what you can find. Why? Because the more people that are looking, everybody has a different area of expertise, right? Everybody has a different forte. Our strength is concentrated either in detail analysis or in auditing or in psychology or in law. I mean, all the lawyers, whether you're a Twitter lawyer or a real lawyer, they do their part. They read the motions. They clarify things and questions for people that don't understand all of this gibberish that is in legal term, right? But some of us can understand some. When it goes to more specifics, sometimes we have to go watch those shows if we want some clarity and sort of like, resolve the confusion that we have at any given point. Well, it's the same thing with them. None of the lawyers, none of the experts in any other areas are necessarily auditors. They do not analyze. They analyze for legal purposes, but that's why they hire investigators. That's why they hire somebody to scrabble and scribble and decipher things, right? That's what we had at Richard Green, which, by the way, I found his motion, because I was digging into that too. I found the document that he did where he was specifying a couple of things. And I want everybody to know this. That 227 search for how long to die in the cold, and it did exist. It existed as an attempted of a deletion. Because if you remember at 2:22 in the morning, who was bot calling each other? It was between Brian Albert, right? Brian Higgins, all but calling each other. By 2:12, in the morning, Jen had already arrived. Where? They had already arrived at 12 Country Lane. At 2:23, a search tab is open. Between 2:23, 2:24, 2:25, 2:26, there were screenshots that were taken. So if at 2:23, like Jen said on the stand in the first trial, when Alan Jackson crossed her, she corrected Alan Jackson and she said, "No, I did not search how Sloan to die in the car at 2:23 in the afternoon. I did not." But she said 2:23. She corrected Alan Jackson. And that is a very old tactic, CIA tactic, of where you throw something to somebody, right? To a witness, to a subject, to sort of to appeal to their arrogance, to their ego, and have them correct you on the information that you're giving them that is wrong. So they feel what? Empowered, proud. And what they do is they slip, they make a mistake. And instead of answering what you want to answer, they answer you, correcting you on either a date or a time. And that's exactly what she did. So at 2:23 in the morning, she attempted, not she, her phone, somebody on her phone attempted to search how Sloan to die in the cold. She got those results. She knew exactly how long it took to die in the cold. She screenshotted those results. She texted those results to 2 different numbers. She deleted the text. She deleted the screenshot, and they attempted to delete the search at 2:27:40. So all of this time, just so you understand how picky I am and how obnoxious I can become, when Alan Jackson is on the stand, and I love him to pieces. He's the best thing that happened after Texas. So he's asking her, you searched 2:20 at 2:27 in the morning, right? He's, what if he would have asked her, so who searched how Sloan to die in the cold? Who searched it? Who had access to your phone? When your watch indicates that you're upstairs, who was downstairs with your phone? Who made that search? Who attempted to delete it? Who were you texting at between 2:23 and 2:25 in the morning? What was the screenshot that you deleted? Why did you delete those 2 text numbers, 2 text messages that you sent? Who else has access to your phone? Because if Jen is wearing her watch, right, and she's upstairs, who else could be downstairs? There's only one other person and her kids, right? And that was at between 2:12 when she arrived home until 2:27 when the deletion was attempted but failed because it was still recorded on the wall file. They could not figure that one out. Don't forget, Matt and Jen handed an extraction of Jen's phone to the authorities, to Guarino, in a flash drive. Who does that? They accepted a flash drive from Matt and Jane, and they handed it to them. Not like, here's my phone, do an extraction. No. They actually did the extraction themselves. And then they handed it to Guarino. That's why Jessica Hyde says on the stand what I understood to be the phone of Jen McCabe. Why? Because it didn't have any hash value attached to it, and the hash value is the signature that authenticates or makes it legitimate that is a what do you call it? An unbiased, unaltered, unmanipulated extraction. So it gets even worse than that, because Jessica Hyde, 3-clerk Monty, published on X the other day that a month before Jessica Hyde was testifying as an expert in a court law in Massachusetts at a courtroom in Maryland, she was pretty much told that she was not an expert. She was disregarded. She attempted to use a different phone that had a different system from the artifact that she was actually analyzing. And between that and something else, just because she said so, they discredited her. And that was just a month before she testified at Karen Reed's trial. So my take on this is the following, and I don't want to create any fuss, and I'm trying to help in what I think I can help, right? Trial 1 was based on the narratives that the Commonwealth put together. They had a hostage video. They were already declaring innocent the people that were going to testify before they even testified. At the end of the day, they were just witnesses, right? But trial 1 was based on a third party culprit that was never, it didn't go anywhere. We were so close because the result was a hung jury. It was so close that it was somewhat scary. If it was scary for us, imagine how scary it was, not only for Karen, but also for her lawyers, right? Because they were giving it everything they could. Still, there were too many things that happened in trial 1. There's also a suspicion that somebody was infiltrated in the jury, right? Last name Hathaway, which is, by the way, related to the Weeks and Jen McCabe. But that's a different story. That's a different show. What I'm trying to tell you is trial 2 changed completely. But the people who changed the narratives from trial 1 to trial 2 were the Commonwealth. And Bev never, there was not one single repercussion to any of the prosecutors, because all of a sudden they're changing and adapting and adjusting and moving things to a more whatever. No, that doesn't happen. If you had an indictment from day 1, they should have stuck with the same indictment, right? We first went based on the Commonwealth. The defense lawyers go at it and they design a strategy and they try to like offset it, right? And win a case for their client, which at the end of the day, Karen Reed was framed. There's no other way about it. We don't have to talk about taillights. We don't have to talk about anything, because at 1:36 in the morning, Joan's phone was at a 78 degrees Fahrenheit and it was inside a Faraday bag at 12 Country Lane. Somebody writing that down? Because I just said it. It was at 12 Country Lane at 1:36 in the morning until 6:04 in the morning when it came out of the Faraday bag. Now, there's a lot of particulars about a Faraday bag, and I'm going to do another live. I bought one. I used to have one, but the ones that we used to use before were not anywhere close to this one. The ones that we had before, they were little pouches, and you could see the front, right? But they sort of like kept the frequencies from the cell towers away. So this, you can get like duffel bags. They look huge. You can put your hands in it, but it stops transmitting location. They don't transmit location. As long as you put the artifact at the location where you found it and you return it to the same location where you found it and get it out at the same location, it will never tell where that phone was. Now, I'll tell you what it does. It doesn't stop recording steps. So at 6:04 in the morning, when you see a jump and you see, oh my God, 432 steps, and everybody's going crazy, and you see people online counting steps and counting the steps. So let me count length steps, and let me count these steps, and let me add this up, and let me see where I get to. No. There's no need for that, because the 432 steps were not recorded at any other time other than at 6:04 in the morning. And what happened was, when that phone got taken out of that Faraday bag, whatever steps, whatever movement it registered from 1:36 in the morning until 6:04, they updated. And all of a sudden, boop, 432 steps. So Lana is my expert go-to with this information. I work separately, like on my own, but she exercises both the left side of her brain and the right side of her brain at the same time. The kid won 2 Fulbright scholarships. 2. Not one, two. She is brilliant. And every time that she was doing a live since 2024, I was sitting in front of a table with a bunch of papers and pens and pencil sharpeners. And I was auditing and doing the same thing. Every time that she was doing something, I did it on my own too. Sometimes I wrote it down as homework and I would do it whenever I could, right? But at the end of the day, everything matched to the T. There was nothing that she was not able to identify or reveal or a result of her investigation that I was not able to match to the T. A couple of things that have come up recently is that there's information out there that she was able to work with that points the location of John's phone somewhere around Oakdale, around 122105, 122110. I wrote down 5 pages worth of information from the 3 last shows that Lana did, and I still have them as homework because I haven't had time to. I've been looking for Kevin Albert. I haven't had time to finish my thing on it. Not that I have any reasons to doubt her, but just to let you know, I work and I verify. If I'm going to stand up and I'm going to try to share whatever I think, feel, my opinions, what I have discovered on my own and with the assistance of other, and because of other people too, like Lana and many other people who have contributed to this, Sean McDonough has been strategically to me in all of this because he had a lot of information still to date. I go back and I listen to the Manic Monday episode. Yesterday, I did it again because there was something that not yesterday, Saturday, because when I found Kevin Albert, something reminded me that he mentioned something. And I had to go back and listen to what was it that he said. And when I found it, it's like, damn, makes sense. Now it makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is I don't want anybody to lose hope. I know that, it sort of feels like justice for John O'Keefe is never going to be attained. At least that's what everybody's saying. Don't forget what Karen said. We know what you've done. She knows. The only person who can validate to me whether I'm on the right track or on the wrong track is Karen Reed. I'm telling you that right now. Anybody who's listening, it could be Melanie Little, it could be whoever. I don't care. It could be the Rocco guy. I could be Nick. I like him, but I call him Nick Bubbo because I told him about the Faraday bag months and months and months ago. And he goes, well, do you have any proof? And I'm going, how am I going to have proof, man? I'm Josie Lou. I got 49 subs by then, right? Like, get an investigator. I'm telling you, he had to go in a Faraday bag. It's the only thing that makes sense. You have to use logic and sense when you do this type of job. So, but I he's a good guy. So, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is you are all more than welcome to look at the court shop video. Is the best video out there. I suggest that you slow it down. It is long, so it's going to take a minute. Not everybody has that patience, right? But if at the end of the day, you're willing to sit down and listen to a show, listen to me ranting for an hour and 36 minutes. And I know sometimes it's a summary or it's a recap or somebody else. It doesn't, whoever it is that you follow, it doesn't matter. Take the time to look at that video and also look at the outside video where you see Kevin Albert pulling up in a Toyota Highlander, dark color, at least 2014, 15, or 16, because the Highlanders changed models in 2017. Toyotas did. All of the models of Toyotas did. And he's driving this 4-door Highlander, and he parks right up front. The person who walks out with him looks a little bit more older than him. I don't know if he could be a cop. I have put pictures out there to somebody tells me. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's somebody who lived or around, or if he was. I have no idea. I don't know. All I can tell you is that Kevin Albert has put on a couple of pounds. His bald spot is getting larger and larger by the minute, and at least in 2022. And from the Berkowitz, what do you call that? Retirement party, which was after John O'Keefe died, because don't forget, it was right around June that Berkowitz decided to retire, right? And then Helena Rafferty took over. But This is not the first time that Chris Albert, Lank, and Kevin and all of these people terrorize this town. I am sure that there's got to be stories and reputation that precedes them. And what happens to people? We are our own business cards. Wherever we go, our business cards follow us. So you're not going to get anything other than honest from me, because I am my own business cards and my kids are my business cards. So, I don't know what else. Oh my God, I haven't looked at the messages. Hold on, I'm sorry. Oh my God, has anybody put any messages? Hi everyone. Hi Dennis. Hi everyone. Mitzi. Okay, I guess I'm caught up. Am I all caught up? Am I missing somebody? There was somebody who wanted me to stay a little longer so she could come in because she was at lunch. I don't want to hold anybody back that doesn't want to stay. There's a lot of things that I can share, but I like organizing thoughts so everything sort of like looks like it's in a sequence that makes sense for people. What I can tell you right now is that I think that there was a reason why they tried and they did everything they could to try to hide Kevin Albert from that from the waterfall video. Still, there are at least 18, 17 minutes, 27 minutes, I'm sorry, that are missing. From 11:27, it jumps to 30 something minutes to 11:53 in the outside parking lot. We cannot see Kevin Albert leave the waterfall. We can't see when he exits out. What we see is that when he comes in, right after he pulls up, a white two-door hardtop, black hardtop Jeep Wrangler without a plow parks right next to him, and a young lady around 5'4", 5'5", black hair, but you cannot tell the length because it's underneath her jacket. She starts walking right towards where Kevin Albert is. Gets out of the Wrangler. Now Kevin Albert and the buddy leave, and you cannot go back because we already tried it. We tried to go back to the same video and see if we could tell. Well, wait, let's try to match the time, right? And see if we can watch him and see him leave at the same time that he exits, if we can actually see him. Well, we tried that. It didn't work. It wouldn't work. We couldn't. There was, oh my God, it was so frustrating because then we said, well, wait a minute. So are we missing something? Did we do something different that we didn't? Let's see if I can show you. And we couldn't find it. We couldn't find the same. There he is. Let's see. There he is. John turns around and pokes at him. Is it moving? Hold on. It looks like it's moving. Why did I pause it? Oh, well, maybe that was a live that I did and maybe I was talking. Okay, we can go back. Let's see. So I try to show the car because this video goes way past after Chris Albert leaves, and they still show a little bit in there, and Jen is just acting funny, like being a comedian in there, and Chris is still over there at the bar, and then he leaves, but then somebody else is there. So when I jumped to the outside video to show, well, let's see if we can see where everybody went, where everybody goes. 2 people I was not able to attest. 3 people I was not able to see them leave. One was Kevin Albert. I'm going to see if I can find the other video. Outside waterfall video. It's YouTube. I wanted to do court shop, but okay. Oh my God. Okay. It's going to come up. I know that I have it here somewhere. My mouse is dying. Hold on. Can we read maybe? Come on. Waterfall. Exterior surveillance footage. Here we go. So this is 10:45. Look how different. You see the Jeep that's there? This is a trials channel by, you see the Jeep? This is a 4-door Jeep that you see parked. Hold on. Let me see if you guys are looking at it. Yep, you guys are. Okay, good. Let me go back to my sinus are killing me. Okay. Okay, so wait. Let's see if I get somebody leaves. And 10:47. You see people like down there underneath the canopy. There's somebody over there too. Somebody's over here too. Just flip the cigarette on the. Hey, that's looting. Okay, wait, and then at 50, I'm gonna do 55 so you can see him pull up. Reminded me of. Let's do it here. So the 4-door Jeep that I think is Jen McCabe's daughters, right? With a black hardtop, 4 doors, leaves. But then at 10:54:47, also there is a truck which looks like a Denali with a toolbox in the back. That's not a Ram and that's not a Ford. That is a Chevrolet Denali. I am an expert in cars too. So at 10:55, you see that there's pretty much nothing going on, even though I sort of see like a silhouette of somebody between these 2 cars, but I could be wrong. I see like somebody moving or standing up there, maybe smoking. I'm not sure. I have another computer that enhances the videos, and I was able to watch it on that one too. Now, the court shop video is a lot better than this one, but we just found this one, so let's take a peek. He's about to come in. This is Kevin Albert. Let's see if we can find it. 56. Here we go. So in about not even 10 more seconds. There's lights. Here he comes. There he goes. Toyota Highlander, 4 doors. It looks like it could be a metallic dark color. Kevin Albert is driving. Are we all looking? He pulls up. The friend gets out. He's got a beanie on. I don't know who that guy is, but I swear to God, I have seen that guy maybe at the Canton rink, at the ice rink, and then they come in, right? So what happens is, if Kevin Albert, did everybody see it? Wait, I can't see the shot. Can somebody say something? Did anybody see it? Why is it stuck on this? Hold on, let me see. Maybe I'm talking about myself for a while and I hadn't even noticed. Somebody confirmed it was Jim Marathas who owns Center Fields, currently the Waterfall. Okay, so good. Thank you. I needed somebody to confirm that, and I just got confirmation. So let me see if I'm actually live, because I'm not seeing any movement here, and you guys may... Hold on. I don't see me. Am I live? It says an hour ago. Live. An hour ago. So where is my live? I don't see me. Please don't tell me that I am talking by myself here. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Misty. I almost left. That's what happens. You know, I'm not an expert at this. So, okay, so if I go back to that video and I try to match it with the 11:27 at the time that he left, look what happens. And this is how they alter the videos. This is how they alter them. They edited them because there's something that they're hiding. In the beginning, the one that they showed in court, now we know what it is that they're hiding, right? What they were hiding was they didn't want us to know that Kevin Albert was at that bar. If that is, in fact, Kevin Albert, and the only person that can tell me that it's not Kevin Albert, actually, I wouldn't even say that it's Karen, because I don't think that Karen even knows what Kevin Albert looks like. She was engaged with Karina Kolakithis and Jen and Entertain, and Matt was distracting her too. I could tell that he was actually like keeping her entertained or something, or focus away from whatever. And Mr. Kolakithis was just being a good boy. He was sitting in his corner next to his wife, you know, not causing any issues. But look how this jumps. I'm going to play it at 1.5 so you can see. 11:38, 39, 40. Watch. This is just ridiculous. And these people think that we're not going to notice? How can they think that we're not going to notice? Look, it just jumped. Did you notice? So I'm going to go again. Look. And I'm going to put it. Where did it start? Yep. 11:54. Let's go. Let's do this. There you go. It jumped again. Let's do it again. Just to make sure. Did everybody catch it? Okay, 11:07, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 11:07, 40, 11:07, 43, 11:07, 45, 11:07, 47, 11:07, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, and it jumps to 11:53.20. So nearly 42 minutes. Caught. Disappeared. And then, that's the band people. They disappeared. But then look what happens at 12:09 when Karen and them start walking out. Because something similar happens. I see Nicole. I see Jen. Karen and Karina and Jen come out first. Hold on. Let me see something. Okay. Here we go. They start to come out, right? They're coming out. Look at under the canopy. Girls come out. Now, you see those lights that are on the other side of that label? I wonder if that's a Jeep. It's pulled back. Wait, I'm dying to see if that's a Jeep with a plow. The 6.8-inch aftermarket plows are sort of wider, right? Like longer than the wheelbase of the actual Jeep. But the wheels the beams and the grill of a Jeep Wrangler are very unique. It doesn't matter whether it's one of the older JK models or it's a newer JL models. It doesn't matter. They're very intrinsically defiant of the Jeep concept. And it almost looks like that could be the Jeep with the plow, but I can't tell because but you see when you look over the black thing and you see those two little, oh my God, let me see. Wait, do you see those two little beams? There's Jen right there. Let me stop this. Okay, no, that's not a good shot. Let me see. This is a better one. Okay, do you see the lights? Right there. You see those two lights? I wonder if that's a plow. If that's a Jeep. And that's a Jeep with a plow. But there's John. May he rest in peace. That's John. And Jen is in the middle. John and Karen go to the left. They parked at the Walgreens parking lot. Jen is just hanging out. But look what she does. She starts walking straight ahead, right? But then she sort of first, before she goes to the right where her Yukon is, she goes to the right first. But that almost look like the headlamps of a Wrangler. I can't tell. You can't tell from here. And I figure also that if he had a plow, I would see it. Okay, so here goes Kolakithis goes to the left. Matt McCabe goes to the right. Look at the headlights flashing. And Jenny's driving. I just saw her going on the other side, on the driver's side. And she gets on the Yukon and she starts flashing the lights to Matt McCabe. Look at that. See? There we go. You see me? You see me? And then Matt goes that way and he is sitting on the passenger side. Jen is driving. Now, here's the funny part. When Chris, who's the last one to leave, I'm sorry, you're going to see his head right around here, right? None of us saw Julie Albert in there, right? But I have no idea who this car is. This car that is with the lights on could be waiting on somebody. We have no idea who that car is. But right here underneath the canopy, you're going to see Chris Albert coming out. That's not him. That's not him. And then, let's see. Yeah, that's part of the band people. And Jen starts taking off, and you're going to see the Yukon moving all the way to the back. and coming this way. Here comes the Yukon. Yukon Denali is about 6 feet and 5 inches in height. So if indeed it was parked in the middle of the driveway, look, when John get out of the car and walked inside 34 Fairview, nobody would have seen John because there it is, and he goes to the left. The Denali would have blocked the view. John was a little shy of 6'2", almost 6'2", but not quite. Close, but not cigar. So wait, let me see if we can. You see him? There it is. He sees the Yukon and he goes. So here's my theory, and we're going to work on it tomorrow too. We're going to expand on it tomorrow. Lana recently said that the call that Jen placed to John at 12:18 and 44 minutes started from inside the Bluetooth of a car. That makes all the sense in the world, because when you look at the library, the corner of Washington, what does the cop get by with all of these videos being altered? Hiding people. How do the cops get by or like get away with it? You mean? Yeah. Well, I have no idea, because if you think about it, we should be calling out the mediocre investigation that was done and the analysis and that was done by Divin and Celebrate. Why? Because one, they were outsourced by the Commonwealth, right, to produce information. That information was going to be used, shared as part of the discovery, right, with the defense team too. If you are outsourcing a company to do a job of this nature related to a high-profile murder case or death of a Boston police officer, why would you hire mediocre? Sometimes you think that, oh, well, we didn't have a lot of money or we are in a budget. There's a reason behind everything. Just like, remember when Alan Jackson kept saying everything is done by design? Everything is done by design. And not only by Alan Jackson, everybody was doing everything by design. The complexity of all of it, the way that they used to like explain, and then you see Jessica Hyde starting to, because the sandwiches, and then you have the pizza, and then you have the hamburgers, and then what happens when you put the letter? There's no need for any of that. There is a level of professionalism in order for you to deliver something that makes sense to a group of jurors. You can't talk to them like you're in a laboratory with peer chemistry people that understand all of the formulas and all of the compositions of whatever it is, the elements that you're looking into. You have to tone it down. You address your message that you're going to convey to the audience that is in front of you. So just like Dr. Stonebridge, I don't know if you remember, when she sat down, what did she do with her hands? She may have not said it with her words, right? She said, and then the front lobes and the right lobes and the front and whatever and the frontal lobes. But what did she do with her hands? She was mimicking a freaking fight, pointing out first here, then there, and then, how can a car that hits you once can develop and all of a sudden wear boxing gloves and go can? You can't. So that's the art of being able to still professionally deliver a message, right? But you have to adjust it to your audience. It's like, I will never, and I said it the other day when I went live, I can never, I deal with people all the time, right? I'm trying to be a problem solver. I resolve their issues. I find them solutions in a different industry, totally different industry. So when I sit with somebody, I need to understand, what's your age group, right? Where do you come from? What's your background? Because you never want to insult anybody. You don't want to tell people that I don't expect you to be an architect, but how do you know that they're not an architect? How do you know that they are not overeducated? How do you know that they don't have any background in any legal anything whatsoever? How do you know that you don't? So you cannot be stereotyping people and talking down on people. You adjust your message to whoever it is that you're going to be delivering to. And what was I saying before all this? Can anybody remind me? Oh my God. I did it again. Oh, so if the call was placed from inside the Yukon by 12, I want to say it was 12:14, 12:14. The call was at 12:14, and there was another call at 12:18. At 12:14 something, John was texting Jen, where to, right? At 12:14 something, Jen is calling John. By 12:14 and something, they're turning left on Sherman, right? And then it takes literally less than 5 minutes to get from the waterfall to 34 Fairview. If you know where you're going, it doesn't matter if it's snowing. It wasn't snowing that bad. These are cops. They don't care about speed limit. They don't care about anything. Everybody and their mother knows them. They are the owners of the town. They walk like they own the whole entire Canton and Stoughton and some of the perimeter on the other side. So in 4 minutes, they already arrived at 34 Fairview. But what's interesting is that Jen pulls up in the driveway or gets to 34 Fairview at 12:19 and 22 seconds. Can you guys believe it? She leaves the waterfall, right? One of the last to leave. She invites them to go over, but she wants to make sure that she gets there first, right? So she sends them on a goose chase. But she was one of the second group that arrived to 34 Fairview, because Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and whoever else, and Caitlin, and blah, 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 and we'll get to that later, they arrived there no later than 12:05. You can bet on it. I can put my hand on fire on that. But Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Chris Albert, who was inside that Yukon, arrived at 34 Fairview by 12:19:46. I'm throwing things out there as I have been able to sort of discover them. Because what is the worst that can happen? That I'm wrong, that somebody comes up with a different theory and sort of zeroes me out and, calls me out, and their theory is right and mine is wrong. It doesn't matter. As long as we can all find the right theory, I'm okay with that. But right now, I'm okay with my theory because it's taking me 4 years to get here. So I wanted to make a point. Make a point, but sort of let you guys know that when I show you all the papers and all my binders and all my stuff, when I say something, I'm not saying it lightly. True, am I new at this? Absolutely. Do I have 128 subs? Absolutely. Is this a one-string show? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny any of that. But what I'm not going to also allow is that somebody says, well, there's a Josie Lou that says, and I don't know. And now she's wrong. I heard her take on it. You didn't hear anything. Maybe you heard it, but you didn't listen. Maybe you watched it, but you didn't. You saw it, but you didn't watch it. So there's I don't even know how to explain. But anyhow, I thank everybody that stopped by, say hello, winked at me, and stayed with me. I still have 6 people with me, despite of the fact that it's been 2 hours and 1 minute. I'm going to let you guys go. My puppy is just looking at me with a puppy face, and he needs to go out, so I'm going to let him out. He turned 1 year today, and I'm trying to celebrate him, and we just had ice cream, and he loved it. He loves vanilla ice cream. But I'm going to close up. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do another video. I did put a short video earlier this morning, just to give you an idea of a couple of the things that I use just to either flip from deduction or induction methods and try to figure out what makes sense. But I would be surprised if that is not Kevin Albert. JFK said that Karen is not going to talk about absolutely nothing until after the civil trial is over. And sometimes silence says a lot more than a lot of us. Don't you guys think? Right? Just sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. Sometimes silence is good. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I am really appreciative of all of you listening to me here, chatting. YouTube, Pat, Mitzi, thank you for staying. PC. She's always here with me. There's somebody else I have to say thank you to, which is JS. I really appreciate him. Mr. Sweetie, Brenda, big hug to both of you. I respect both of you so much. Praying for all of you guys again, and hoping that we can wrap this up soon together. Everybody collaborate, helping each other. And Jimmy, no, I don't appreciate those comments, and you're not going to be my mod. We're going to keep it clean around here. All right, you guys, have fun, enjoy your day, and I'll see you all soon.